has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. All right, so you're going to want to get your hands on the SportsGrid app on iOS and Android in the Play Store. It's free. It's the greatest thing ever invented. Literally, it's got everything. The TV side, the radio side. Follow your favorite hosts like Carver. Hi. And also, it's got in-game odds that, like, right when you're watching the games, it's like right there for you. The SportsGrid app has it all. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Did you know we're on X? Yeah, we're streaming on X this very second at SportsGrid-Live. Check it out. You'll love it. It's always on. Every day, all week, all month, all year on X. Hey, you can get the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Ferrall on the Bench podcasts on Apple, iTunes, or wherever you download podcasts. Let's look at the lineup tonight on SportsGrid TV. You got Front Office Sports today at 6. You got GTD at 6:30 with the Kevin Walsh. At 8, it's In-Game Live, the original OG with Scott Wetzel and the mayor of Miami, Joe Ranieri, tonight. And then at 10, it's Sports Rage with Morency. On SportsGrid Radio at 8 to 10, it's The Institution, Carver and Lisi. All that tonight on SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio. All right, Mike, take it away.
Yeah, I got to stay with the Pirates just for one more minute, and that's because they lost to the Royals 9-3 last night in Kansas City. I told you that we rang the bell twice here on Coast to Coast yesterday. Well, the second one was Bobby Witt Jr. on FanDuel Sportsnet.
And he gets it up, and he drives it deep to right. Reynolds is back, up and over the wall. Bobby Baseball putting a charge into that one for his 13th home run.
Yeah, and then this guy's starting to light it up, too. Have you noticed? He's got a 25-game hitting streak on the road and an 11-game hitting streak at the K.
It's amazing. He's having another dynamite year. It's unfortunate because they just aren't winning games this year. The rest of the offense hasn't been there. Him and Pasquantino really have been the only guys doing anything. Pasquantino and Salvi homered last night. I think you sent me that was the first time all three of them ever homered in the same game, right? Witt, Pasquantino, and Salvi Perez. Elsewhere, Cleveland went into Houston last night on a 10-game losing streak after a miserable weekend against the Tigers and more. Well, they finally got out of the funk. Jose Ramirez into the Crawford boxes on Guardians TV.
Crushed. Deep left field. Goodbye. Jose Ramirez uncorks one to left field. It's a 2-out, 3-run homer and a 4-run fifth inning for the Guardians.
I got to tell you, I had the Guardians last night at plus 140, and they had lost 10 in a row. And they won that game. It was inexplicable. They were up 4-0 on the Ramirez shot. Then it was 4-3. Then it was 4-4. Then it was 6-4. Then it was 7-5 that they won. I cashed that ticket as well, plus 140. And I think they stink. I think they're falling apart at the seams, the Cleveland team. I honestly, I think they're finished. It's only going to get worse for them. They got the pitcher embroiled in a gambling scandal. I think their starting five is awful. Besides Bybee, who hasn't been good either, and their lineup stinks too. I think they're finished.
They certainly look like they're heading in that direction, right? Towards the finished category. Angels beat Texas last night 6-5. This was a good pitching matchup, supposed to be, with DeGrom and Kikuchi. They both got kind of banged around early on in the game. Now, we love walk-offs on Coast to Coast, even of all kinds. Sometimes it's a homer or a base hit or even a walk on FanDuel Sportsnet.
On 3-2. It's ball four. Say goodnight to the Rangers. The Angels walk it off. Literally. They win it 6-5.
Some patience by Shauna. Wow. Work the walk. Watch out for that incoming thrown helmet.
Did he just bust off a say goodnight to the bad guy?
He said goodnight on a walk-off walk.
Yeah.
Say goodnight.
They walked home the winning run. Are you kidding me? What could be worse?
That's a tough way to lose when you walk home the winning run. Diamondbacks did beat the Padres 6-3. You mentioned Darvish came back last night. First time he had pitched all year. We always love when the big fella goes deep for Arizona. That's your boy Josh Naylor on Diamondbacks.
Did he get drafted by the Padres?
Naylor clobbers one deep to center. Merrill on the run, and this one's gone. Josh Naylor sends one out of here. The former Padre makes it 4-1 Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and then there was a big moment in that game last night for my guy Manny.
Yes, Manny had 3 hits. His second one was his 2000th career hit in Major League Baseball. His 2001st was a home run, but unfortunately, like you always say, if you lose, we can't really play the home run. Unless it's like super historic. So you have to win the game in order to get a home run played. But it was a big night for Manny Machado. And it does kind of make you wonder. He's 33 years old, right? And I feel like he's a guy that hasn't missed a lot of time. And it feels like he's got like 1,000 more. He doesn't have 1,000 more hits in him, right? Like, is anyone going to get to that again? 3,000 hits. Because he's got 2,000 and he's been so productive for so long. And he feels like he's not even close.
I mean, he'd have to have 200 hits a season for 5 more years.
Right. And look, if he's 33.
I think he can actually get there if he plays till he's 40. That gives him 2 extra years, 7 years, a 7-year cushion. That means he could average, I think, 175 hits a year. Doesn't he average? Does he not get 200 hits a year?
I mean, if you look at his career numbers by where he is, overview, I'll get you his year by year numbers.
But I don't think anyone else. Who else is going to have 3,000 hits besides him? Who's the next guy that's going to have that many hits? Like, he really does get a lot of hits. I mean, you look at all these other guys that are in baseball. Who's going to have 3,000 hits?
It doesn't. Yeah, Louis Arise. I mean, he'd have to
Listen, I'll say it again. I'm not going there with the Tony Gwynn comparisons. I'm not doing it. I've never once, I got to be honest, have been excited about Louis Arise. Ever. I just don't, like, he's invisible to me. I saw him last night get beaned running to first with a ball across the infield right on his elbow. But, like, I didn't even flinch. I'm like, no one cares about him. Everyone cared about Tony Gwynn. Everyone. They still talk about Tony Gwynn. We're talking about him right now.
Freeman's got 2358. He's got the most among active players, Freddie Freeman. He's at 2358.
How old is Freddie Freeman?
Freddie Freeman
has got to be 35.
He's got to be older than Machado, right? Oh, let's see here. Freddie Freeman is 35. You're right. He'll be 36 in September.
And I was guessing, but, Freddie's one of those guys. He's a great player, great hitter, no doubt about it. He's 35. He looks 42. Like, he just looks like an old dude. Like, I don't, but he hits like he's young. I won't deny that. Freddie Freeman's super dangerous. But, I guess 5 more, I'm going to give him 5 more years, tops. I call it a career at 40, no matter what, for baseball players, right? So at 40, they're going to be, basically 39, 40, you're worthless. You just don't matter anymore. So he's got to do it in, I think, 6 years. I think Manny can do it.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
It's
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
So obviously we're going to talk to Chris Russell in a little while about the Nats' problems. And they got plenty of them, Mike.
They do have plenty of them. Of course, after the loss on Sunday, and they got smashed by the Red Sox all weekend. They were thankfully off yesterday. They chopped everyone. Manager Davey Martinez out. GM Mike Rizzo out. Both guys have been there a very long time. Now, we thought that could happen. Of course, you remember we played that clip a few weeks back where Davey Martinez said, it's the players' fault. You know, the coaches do all the work. It's not their fault. They don't go out there and play. And that was kind of the probably the beginning of the end for Davey Martinez. Miguel Cairo will be the Nationals' interim manager now moving forward. You remember Miguel, Scott. He played for everybody in Major League Baseball. Back in the day, I think he was on every team, at least.
Yeah, you know, I'm not excited about that at all. Like when I saw that choice, I was just like, "What is happening here?" And like, I don't know. Well, does he have some kind of advantage because he played on all these teams, or I don't understand?
He's probably just the guy on the staff with, I would guess, the most
next in line.
Experience. I mean. It's hard. I mean, when you're in the middle of the year in July, you're not hiring anyone from outside. You got to have someone's got to steer the ship. Now it's like with the Pirates. You know, Pirates put Don Kelly in because he was on the bench. You know, he was there. So right. Now the Pirates though have played better with Don Kelly as the manager than they were doing before. So we'll see if that shakes some things up for the Nationals moving forward. Tonight they're in St.
They're closer to 20 games under 500 than they are to 10 games. Believe me, you. Like they were at 14, and then then it got to 17. This weekend. So I mean, I at times think they've looked better with him than Shelton for certain, but I think they're about to trade away several players and clean it out and gut it again. That's all they ever do in Pittsburgh with the baseball team. And don't get me started on the hockey. It's the middle of July. I don't have time to start talking about how bad they suck.
No, we do not. Yankees moves for tonight. Jazz Chisholm will now exclusively go back to second base. Maybe that's because he told everyone who wanted to listen for weeks that he don't like playing third, and that third wasn't good for him. And now they're finally going to listen. And
so what are they
going to
do? Move DJ over to third and put him at second?
No, in fact, I just saw Boone speaking now. He's speaking at this moment in the pregame, and he said DJ can't physically play third base. So he's basically just going to be a bat off the bench for the Yankees moving forward. I guess they're going to have to play
with the Yankees. It's over.
Yeah. Well, and look,
who's playing third?
Been saying this. Well, we've been saying this for months. I guess they're going to play Peraza and over there, but they need like a real, legitimate major league third baseman, and it's annoying that they're the Yankees and they can't find a couple spare nickels under the
used to play over there at some point in his career,
but he's too old now. He can't go over there. He wouldn't be able to play third base. Look, they need to go get a real third baseman. Like, why you can't go get
I heard they wanted Cabrian Hayes, another guy that can't hit.
I want the Suarez, but if Arizona keeps winning, they're not going to trade Eugenio Suarez. So that's just not going to happen so far. Also, they've lost Clark Schmidt. He's likely facing Tommy John surgery. He's finished. Nightingale said they're reportedly very interested in Eugenio Suarez. Yeah, who isn't? But if they're in the race, they're not going to trade everybody, Arizona. So if they keep winning games, he's not going to go anywhere.
What does he play? There. Isn't he an outfielder?
No, he's third base. He's a third baseman.
Oh, that's the guy that they want more than anybody else, but I don't see why they would trade him. He's their best player.
I mean, right. Look, he's going to be
Carroll and him are the two best players on the team.
Yeah, he's going to be a free agent, which is why, you want to try to sell high on him if the season's not going to go the way you think, but they've got some time, still 3 weeks till the deadline. Aaron Judge, arguably the best season ever by a right-handed hitter last year. Well, guess what? This year's even better. His average this year, 360 at this point. Last year, it was 310. His OBP, 468. Last year, it was 430. Slugging, 734. Last year at this time, 693. Home runs, 33 to 32. Runs scored, 80 to 68. RBIs is the only thing that's less. He's got 74 this year. He had 83 last year. Aaron Judge again. And that's with recently, Scotty, him getting walked basically every 2 or 3 at-bats because nobody wants to pitch to him anymore.
I mean, it really is incredible, the numbers that he puts up. And then what's even more unthinkable is how it all disappears in October. And he can't get a hit at all.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you have, one hit in the whole playoffs? Like, literally, the guy struck out 90% of the time. He was absolutely awful. And it's unreal. I don't see how it's possible with a guy that 2-0 Chelsea, a guy that hits the way he does, and that hits homers the way he does, that drives in runs the way he does, the slugging, everything, the RBIs, everything that he does, and then it all disappears. You can't even make it up. Like, I expect him to fail in October because we've seen it. We've seen him just absolutely close up shop and just shut it down. He does nothing in the all that matters is October. That's all that matters in baseball. And that's why Jeter was so great. People could say whatever they want, Mr. November, whatever else. He was October, November. He was the reason they won 5 championships while he played for the Yankees. He was unbelievable. So were a lot of guys on that team, but he was unbelievable. And when it came time for the playoffs, he was unbelievable. And then when this guy goes to the playoffs, it is unbelievable that he can't get a hit.
It is sick. Like, it's is amazing that
he's an automatic out. It's every time they might as well bat him 9th.
I say, you crank that Soldier Boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Get the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that Soldier Boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school?
Dude. Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend. The young Benny Steve was out there hitting.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, Houston beat the snot out of the Dodgers, 18-1. And this is what happens here. Oral Hershiser doing the game for the Dodgers brings up the cheating scandal, going, they must know the science because they're hitting curveballs that they know it's coming. It's like, oh boy, did you really want to go down that rabbit hole again here? I think this is one of those nights where they got destroyed. Yeah, hey, it happens in baseball here. But just found that an interesting comment by Oral Hershiser. Start bringing up the cheating scandal again.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
5-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. You know, we all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so your boy Ferrall Arena is at it again.
He's been on fuego. This guy, it seems like he's been homering every single day. The last 9 games, 382, 6 homers, 10 RBIs, a 13-17 OPS. He'll probably kill the Yankees the next 3 days, I would have to believe. Since he did that when he was in Tampa, I'm sure he'll do that against the Yankees going forward. Of course, we are a couple weeks from the deadline. The Phillies are looking for Pirate pitchers David Bednar and Dennis Santana. Santana's the guy that tried to fight everybody in Detroit that day, so that'll work out well. Get him to Philadelphia, get a little.
I would actually deal Bednar and get him out of there because he's hot and
Sell
cold.
high.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll get rid of him and keep Santana if I were the Pirates. I think Santana he's young, and I think he can pitch, and I wouldn't get rid of both of them. They'll have just the most horrific bullpen ever.
They certainly would. The Padres have significant interest in Red Sox outfielder Jarren Duran, who, of course, has had a good couple of years there in Boston. I guess why not? Keep stripping the whole thing down.
I would rather play in San Diego and live in San Diego than to be anywhere near that melting pot of negativity and hate and racism playing up there. I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you don't do well there, you get abused. And that means at the ballpark and off the ballpark. When you're not at work, if you turn that radio on, you'll want to jump off a building because they'll abuse you all day there. If you don't perform there, they just abuse you, and they'll make you nuts. You can't listen to the radio if you live in Boston and you play for one of those teams.
No, you do have to. Nobody would ever pick anywhere else over San Diego. San Diego's always the prime choice, no matter
Impossible.
what. No doubt. World Series odds. I did want to show you that the Dodgers are still the favorites, but that the Yankees are still second. Now, the funny part is, the Yankees are still ahead of Detroit, but Detroit's ahead of the Yankees for the AL now. The AL odds, Detroit's the favorite over them to win it. But there you go.
So I'm sitting there looking at right now. You're telling me it's Dodgers, Yankees, Detroit, Philly,
Philly,
Mets, Houston. Okay, let me tell you something right now. Okay, right now, Detroit and Houston would beat the absolute shack out of the Yankees in a playoff series. Both of them. They'd kill them. I mean, 4-1 at worst. 4-1 at worst. That'll be that.
I agree with
They're
you.
both better,
I actually
flat out.
I Detroit would beat the Yankees in a 5 or a 7.
And the Blue Jays would beat them.
I think the Blue Jays would beat them. I think Seattle would beat them. I actually think Seattle would beat the Yankees.
It's going to happen. This is a playoff preview right before your very eyes. A wild card preview.
It's possible.
And isn't that, are those one and done, the wild cards?
No, they're best of 3. The last
Oh, God.
So you
Thank
play
God.
best of 3.
If it was one and done, they'd lose that game.
Probably.
Judge, go 0 for 5.
George Springer was the AL Player of the Week. That's because he hit like 15 homers against the Yankees over those 4 games in Toronto. He completely crushed them. Michael Busch of the Cubs and Zach Wheeler of the Phillies were the NL Players of the Week. Busch had a 3-homer game on, what was that, the 4th of July, right? Busch had a 3-homer game
4th of Ferrall
against the Redbirds over at Wrigley, and Wheeler has been unbelievable for the Phillies. The All-Star Game rosters were announced. Now, obviously, we've got a bunch of these here, and I could do some of these with you after you talk to the Rooster. But here is, let me give you the AL reserves first. We'll slide those in, and then we'll move on to a couple of other things. There you go. Your boy Jonathan, don't call me Dave Aranda, made it from the Tampa Bay Rays. So you've got him in the mix there. You've got Bregman, who hasn't played in 6 weeks. Jazz Chisholm, Stephen Kwan, Brandon Lau, a favorite of ours. Rooker made the team, and so did Bobby Witt Jr., the reserves. Everyone loves Rooker. He's excellent.
Yeah, he's not bad. I'll give you that. Aranda made it. Is that right?
Yeah, and the kid from Tampa. The kid from Tampa, Aranda.
But those were the American League, right? So
that's the American League. There was a lot more discussion on
that Soto didn't make it in the National League.
Soto,
honestly.
And Suzuki's got like 77 RBIs. He's leading the NL in RBIs. Suzuki's having a huge year.
How is that possible that those 2 guys didn't make the All-Star?
Because everyone has to have someone in the game from every team. So that's where it becomes.
I would still cut people and put those 2 guys in.
That's odd.
I say, you crank that Soldier Boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Get the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that Soldier Boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school?
Dude. Bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend, the young Benny Steve was out there hitting.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
I mean, Houston beat the snot out of the Dodgers, 18-1. And this is what happens here. Oral Hershiser doing the game for the Dodgers brings up the cheating scandal, going, they must know the science because they're hitting curveballs that they know it's coming. It's like, oh boy, did you really want to go down that rabbit hole again here? I think this is one of those nights where they got destroyed. Yeah, hey, it happens in baseball here. But just found that an interesting comment by Oral Hershiser. Start bringing up the cheating scandal again.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
5-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. You know, we all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
Carver High, let's look at the rest of these all-stars and, reserves, etc.
Yeah, since I gave you the American League reserves, I'll give you the American League pitchers as well here for the All-Star game, which is next week in Atlanta. Hunter Brown having a great year. Bubich from Kansas City. Chapman and Crochet from Boston. DeGrom, Max Fried, Hader, Kikuchi. Munoz from Seattle. Skubal, of course. Shane Smith, because we had to have a White Sox in the game. And Brian Wu from Seattle as well, having a great year.
Are the Yankees going to have to face Wu-Tang Clan this week?
I believe he's pitching, if I'm correct here, the Thursday game. I will load Thursday he's pitching against Stroman. Thursday night, the last game of the series. So
if I'm looking at it here from my perspective, I think Hunter Brown has been unbelievable. I won't deny what Chapman's done for the Red Sox and really for everyone, the Pirates, whoever it was. He's still throwing gas. That's just all there is to it. I think DeGrom's been unbelievable. Fried Chicken has been sensational for the Yankees for the most part. Hader is lights out. Every time he goes on the hill, he gets a save. I think Kikuchi's been impressive. I saw him pitch a game the other day. They were up 2-0, and the minute he was pitching, a shutout. The minute they took him out of the game, they lost the game. They literally, they took him out, and that was the end of it. They lost. And Skubal's been the most dominant pitcher, I think in baseball, without a doubt. And his changeup is absolutely unhittable. I've said this before on the show. I've never seen a ball for my money in the last decade dive like that. I don't remember ever seeing, Kershaw has a big hook. There's no doubt about it, right? But this guy's changeup dives off the table. It's literally like a noodle falling out of a spaghetti bowl onto the floor. It just goes straight down. You can't hit it. That guy is unhittable. And so when they go to the playoffs, you can count them. Every time he pitches, he's going to win. That's it. That's all there is to it. He's completely dominant. And what's weird is every time he pitches, they score runs for him. Unlike Skeens, who is as good as Skubal at the end of the day, but the Pirates never score any runs when he pitches. How many times has Skeens pitched a 1-0 loss? It's been 4 of the last 5 times he's pitched? Every time he pitched Phillies, this one the other day against Seattle, it's every time he pitches, he loses 1-0. They never score for him. He has to absolutely hate being on that team. This guy hates being a Pirate. He probably wants to pull his teeth out of his mouth. Honestly, with a wrench, pull him right out, playing for them. He has to. He's going to need a shrink. Playing in Pittsburgh, he's going to need a shrink. Even that hot girlfriend of his can't keep him happy. She's going to leave him. She's going to leave him over playing for the Pirates because they're so awful. Remember when he got the job and they were both so happy and she went to Pittsburgh to the game? She won't even go there anymore for games. She's already run out of that joy. She can't even find a good restaurant in Pittsburgh. She's done with it. She won't even go there anymore. She got to find a new lover.
As far as the National League goes, in terms of their reserves, Pete Alonso in the game again, although he's not going to do the home run derby. I guess at this point we could say thank God because he's been in it so much. Did we really need to see him in it again? Corbin Carroll, Ellie De La Cruz will be there. Brendan Donovan, Hunter Goodman because we had to have a Rocky. Matt Olson, Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Stowers, who we love here on Coast to Coast. He's been very good to us. Eugenio Suarez, who we talked about before. Fernando Tatis Jr. And well-deserved the Wood Doctor. Even though the Nationals suck, Scotty, the Wood Doctor absolutely deserves to be in the All-Star game.
Yeah, he doesn't suck. He's been fantastic, hitting home runs every night and ringing a bell for us. So he's been great. There's no denying it.
And as far as their pitchers go, there is Paul Skeens on the pitcher list for the National League, along with Jason Adam, Matthew Boyd, Edwin Diaz, Tipper Gore. Nationals suck, but they got 2 All-Stars. Clayton Kershaw was the commissioner's pick, legacy pick for him. Freddie Peralta, Robbie Ray, Randy Rodriguez, Chris Sale, Logan Webb, Zach Wheeler, and Yamamoto, the National League pitchers.
Well, Yamamoto deserves to be there. He was terrible yesterday, and Sale's been injured. Robbie Ray pitches tonight. Tipper Gore, he doesn't win. He strikes guys out, but he doesn't win because they don't score runs for him either any more than they do Skeens. Who's your starter in the All-Star game? Is it?
I gotta tell you, I was me and Cam were talking about this yesterday. I think it's Wheeler. Wheeler's been, especially lately, he's throwing complete games. He's throwing 8-9 shutout innings. I know he gave up one hit. It was a homer on Sunday. I think Wheeler's got to have it. I know Skeens is really good, but you got to count it for winning once in a while, right? You got to have a couple of wins.
I got to tell you, that really just everything was going fine today. I woke up in a good mood, and now you start putting Phillies in the starting pitcher.
Well, look, I don't know. Like if Sale wasn't hurt, I would say start the guy who's in its home stadium, right? If the Sale's on the Braves, the game's in Atlanta.
The Tom's Mafia. I need the
Sale's
Toms.
not pitching, so I would actually go to Wheeler, and I would pitch him. Or do you want to? You can't start Kershaw. He's already getting the commissioner's pick to be there. Speaking of Sale, I saw this too, and you sent it to me also. I thought this was cool. Sale's not going to pitch in the game, but he's glad that he got named to another All-Star game because at least now his kids are getting a little bit older, and they can remember that he was actually a really good baseball player. Here's Chris Sale.
My kids love it. They have a blast, and hopefully the younger ones now can remember some of these, some of the moments and be able to appreciate it when they get older. I remember Jake Peavy telling me one time, and I felt like this a few years ago when I was going through it. I remember him telling me when he had 3 sons at the time, he's like, my oldest son knew I was a badass. My middle son knows I play baseball. My youngest son thinks I stink. So I stole that joke from him a few years ago. So it's cool to, let the boys in the house know Dad still got it a little bit.
So your boy Peavy is on MLB Network now. He was doing a few innings with the Padres last night, his old team. Yep. And man, does he love Musgrove. And Musgrove, of course, wears his number because that was Musgrove's favorite player growing up in San Diego and going to the ball games watching Jake Peavy.
He's got some cush job with the Padres too. He's like assistant to somebody, the vice president. Like he's got some token job from all those years that he spent out there with the Padres. Like you said, if there's ever a place you want to attach yourself to and never leave, it's probably San Diego. Not a bad choice.
Joe Musgrove would have to go into a mental ward if they ever traded him, because he hasn't pitched this year. But, he's coming back from a shoulder, right? And I think he hasn't pitched yet, and so I know he's up to he's ramping it up. I heard his interview last night, and he said he's throwing mostly fastballs, and he's up to 75 pitches when he pitches, so he's still a ways off.
The Dodgers have the most All-Stars with 5. The Tigers and Mariners have 4. I told you Pete Alonso's not going to be in the home run derby, but guess who is? Cruise missile. O'Neal Cruz is not in the game, but he will go to Atlanta to be in the home run derby on Monday night. Byron Buxton of Minnesota will as well. They join Ronald Acuna, Cal Raleigh, and the Wood Doctor. So that's 5 slots. I believe they still need to fill 3 more by Monday for who's going to be in the home run derby.
I have to root for Cruise Missile. I need him to win because they don't win anything ever.
Playing him.
We don't. Remember, they don't go to the playoffs. They don't win anything. The division, they don't wild card, nothing. So this is it for me. Cruz in the home run contest. I got to have him win.
Remember, we had a big hit last year. We had Teoscar Hernandez in the home run derby, and he won it for us. So we got to go with the Cruise Missile here on Monday night. Hopefully he can pull it out.
I say, you crank that soldier boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Get the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that soldier boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school?
Bar mitzvah slate. in the bar mitzvah slate each and every weekend. The young
mitzvahs?
Benny Steve was out there hitting it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, Houston beat the snot out of the Dodgers, 18-1. And this is what happens here. Oral Hershiser doing the game for the Dodgers brings up the cheating scandal, going, oh, they must know the science because they're hitting curveballs that they know it's coming. It's like, oh boy, did you really want to go down that rabbit hole again here? I think this is one of those nights where they got destroyed. Yeah, hey, it happens in baseball here. But just found that an interesting comment by Oral Hershiser. Start bringing up the cheating scandal again.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
5-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. You know, we all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Our friend Chris Russell joins us from our nation's capital. He does afternoons on the Team 980, and you can follow him on X at WrestleMania621. Always good to see you, Chris. We want to talk about the mess that is the Nationals to start with here. And, you know, I got to be honest. When Martinez had his moment in the sun when he threw the players under the bus in not so many words. He blamed the players and, you know, he said the coaches have nothing to do with this. In not so many words, he said, we don't play. They're the ones going out there playing. We tell them what to do. We get them ready. We are ready. We do everything right. We do everything top shelf. And then they go out and F it up. I knew that day, I said on this show, that very day, he was fired.
Yeah. Scotty, good to be on with you. First of all, thank you for having me. And I remember being at that game and driving away and going, oh my God, he actually said what he was actually thinking, which was the coaches are not to blame and the players are, which is fine if you think that, even though that's probably wrong, but you can't say it. And I knew Davey was a dead man walking at that point. Mike Rizzo tried to walk it back. Davey tried to walk it back the next day. Mike Rizzo, a couple of days later, tried to walk it back. Oh, no, he didn't mean this. He didn't mean that. Listen, in the Lerner family, the owners' minds, along with an 11-game losing streak, which that was a part of that day, was an 11-game losing streak to the Marlins and the Rockies at home with crowds of 15,000. You knew Davey was gone. The real surprise here is Mike Rizzo, the general manager and president, not so much that he was definitely going to be back next year, but the timing when you consider the number one overall pick on Sunday night going to the Nationals and, of course, the trade deadline.
So he's been there forever, but that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles, right? In not so many words, they, I think they needed to clean house because they've been so awful. I mean, let's just look at it here for a second, because I knew you were coming on and I was kind of prepared for this. Home, 10 games under 500. Road, 6 games under 500. East, 11, I think it's like 11 games. Is that about right? 8, maybe 9 games under 500 on against the East. Central, 4-9, 5 games under. Against the West, they've actually done decent, 1 game under. They're still losing. They've won 4-10. They've lost 3 in a row. Like, it's gotten to the point, Chris, where I'm like, betting against them every night of the week and making money 5-6 nights a week.
Right. So I'll take you back to the end of May. They scored, I think it was 36 runs over 4 games on the West Coast against Seattle and Arizona, and that was to end out May. And, Scotty, they never got off the mat after that. They were shut down by Corbin Burns the next day, the game that he got injured in Arizona, and they never showed really any signs of life after that. They were terrible in June, terrible offensively. They're awful base running. They're not good defensively. Their bullpen stinks. Their starting pitching outside of Mackenzie Gore is very average, if not average might be kind. And they were not playing with really a whole lot of juice or energy or fire or anything like that. Not to mention, like last Wednesday, it was July 2nd, right? It's the middle of the summer. It's warm, okay? A lot of people in D.C., they had 16,000 people there for the Detroit Tigers, the best team in the American League. And last Sunday against the Red Sox, a day where they run all sorts of kids promotions and whatever, they had 26,000 and probably 12,000 Red Sox fans. So the owners are looking around saying, not only do we stink, but we ain't making any money. We're not bringing anybody in except for the road fans.
That's like the Pirates. They're drawn like the Pirates. I'll say this. So I said this earlier. I think Tipper Gore is a really good strikeout pitcher, but they don't give him any support either. Like he pitches well, strikes guys out, and they don't win. He reminds me of Skeens. Skeens doesn't give up any runs. They never score any runs when he pitches, and he never wins. But the guy that we like talking about on this show is the Wood Doctor. He has hit so many home runs for us, and we bet home runs here every night. Carver High's taters are the stuff of legend. And we use the Wood Doctor regularly. I mean, every week, at least once or twice. I think he's been phenomenal. And, this is what happens when you have a crappy team. People don't want to spend the money to go watch a crappy team, and you know that.
Yeah, but he's not crappy by any means, and you guys are right on to bet him. And especially, if you can get good value from him on a certain day against a left-hander, he torches left-handers. So you may want to pay attention to your pitching matchups and whatever. Maybe get a little different feel, a little different juice there, because he just absolutely hammers left-handers. And it's not just the home runs, but obviously, depending on what you're betting. James Wood is awesome. I think, like any young hitter, he goes through a couple little bumps in the road, 2-3 games, whatever it is, where you're like, where's James Wood? But then he snaps right out of it, and he comes away with a 5-hit game the other night, and you're like, oh, there's James Wood. And he, again, can torch left-handers. And that's so important, Scotty. And he goes to the opposite field. He drives the ball with authority. I think he's got 3 home runs over 116-plus exit velo. I mean, the guy can do pretty much everything, and he's actually turning out to be a pretty good left fielder, for whatever that's worth. In big baseball picture terms, that's worth something. Maybe not necessarily in gambling, but he can run the bases. He's got long strides. He does everything.
So respectfully, I get about 45 seconds. Will they get this McLaren deal done, and will they live up to the lofty expectations that are set on that football team?
Yeah, I think Terry McLaurin's deal will take probably a little bit longer than the start of training camp, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a holdout, but eventually I think they get it done despite some acrimony and some bad feelings, somewhere in the neighborhood of $31 to $32 million a year.
And do you think they're going to win the division? No one ever wins that division back-to-back. Do you think they take Philly out?
I think they've got a good chance. I mean, of course, it starts with Jaden Daniels, but it's really about the rest of their team. They improve their run defense. They improve their secondary. They improve their offensive line. I think they've got a good chance, as good of a chance as any other team in that division. I'll tell you that much.
Chris, always good to see you, my friend. Have a great rest of the summer. We'll catch up in the fall for football.
I say, you crank that soldier boy, right? You Darvish back on the mound. Haven't seen this guy in a minute right now. Yeah, man, crank it, man. Get it going up. Get the high. Yeah, let's go. Crank that soldier boy up here. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. That was big back then. Where were you? Senior high school? Or maybe even in grade school?
bar mitzvah slate. In the bar mitzvah slate, each and every weekend, the young Benny Steve was out there hitting it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, Houston beat the snot out of the Dodgers, 18-1. And this is what happens here. Oral Hershiser doing the game for the Dodgers brings up the cheating scandal, going, oh, they must know the science because they're hitting curveballs that they know it's coming. It's like, oh boy, does he really want to go down that rabbit hole again here? I think this is one of those nights where they got destroyed. Yeah, hey, it happens in baseball here. But just found that an interesting comment by Oral Hershiser. Start bringing up the cheating scandal again.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
5-year contract. It's just, I bring it up only because who cares, Scott? It's just mine. Jaren Jackson Jr., good player. Don't get me wrong. $50 million a year. You know, we all bitch and complain about the Juan Soto deals and the Ohtani deals, and you get guys like Jaren Jackson making $50 million a year.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Tony Gwynn had 107 career at-bats against Greg Maddux. Never struck out once.
Oh, that's nuts.
In 107 times. 107. Cam, if you took the modern player and said, are you going to face Maddux 107 times in a row? Like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and these guys, they'd strike out like 62 times type thing.
Exactly.
They'd be like 80 times. They'd be like whiffing.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
I just wanted to say real quick, Chelsea's going to win this game 2-0. It's really one of the worst things I've ever witnessed this game. I've had it on, and I mean to tell you, I've had more fun at church. I mean, it literally was the dullest thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't imagine. They should give refunds to the people that paid to see this. It's so boring, this game. And I cannot believe that Chelsea is going to be in the final, and Liverpool would literally beat them blindfolded. If they were all blindfolded, Liverpool would beat Chelsea. And they're in the championship of this thing. Whoever wins that game tomorrow is going to kill them, is what's going to happen. You know, PSG and Real Madrid, crown them already. Whoever wins the game tomorrow is going to win it all. Because, I mean, this was the dullest thing I've seen in my life. Literally, Fluminense, I don't think they had one shot on goal. I don't even think they had the ball for more than 12 seconds the whole game. I will say this, their jerseys looked really good, though.
At least they can go home knowing that they looked the part. So they did have that.
Yeah, no, they didn't. All their fans are crying. I literally saw their fans crying like they lost the World Cup final.
They had good jerseys, so they looked good, and that's really all that matters.
I will say this, the Brazilian women are a lot hotter than the chicks from Chelsea who have no teeth. I just wanted to mention that as well at the end. I saw a lot of Chelsea. They look like hockey players. They're missing their front.
Different level of clientele, you're saying.
I mean, the English fans are something else. They love to fist fight. They've all had their teeth knocked out.
They do. We have everybody playing tonight. It's Tuesday. 15 games in Major League Baseball. So why don't we start, and then we'll do the rest.
Let's go.
After the top of the hour. The Mets will be in Baltimore. Open up a series with the O's. Clay Holmes and Brandon Young will go tonight. Mets minus 125, Orioles plus 105. 9.5 is the total. I know they are going to be dealing, Scotty, with on and off, or maybe just all on raindrops throughout the night. Some stormy weather in Baltimore.
I mean, honestly, here's a guy in Holmes that's pitched great, right? And he's got 8 wins. This guy Young's a bum. He's got no wins, nothing. He gives up tons of runs. I got to go Mets.
Mets tonight down there in Baltimore. Tampa still in Detroit against the Tigers. Ryan Pepio against Jack Flaherty this evening. Tigers minus 130, plus 110 for the Rays, and a 7.5.
I told you I bet this. Flaherty, I got him at minus $1.25. I couldn't go with the Rays based on they've won 3 and 10, and they've been outscored by about 20 runs when they've been stinking it up. They have not been playing well at all. They got smoked last night, and Flaherty He's a guy that's got great stuff, hasn't got the wins this year because for whatever reason, he's that guy that when he pitches well, and they don't score for him. So let's hope they score for him tonight. I bet Detroit.
The Mariners open a series in the Bronx against the Yankees. Logan What's Eating Gilbert Grape against Will Warren, who got smashed his last time out. Yankees minus 130, Mariners plus 110, and an 8.5.
I should have bet this, and I would have bet Seattle because they have like almost literally they're one behind them in the win column. They're identical. They're mirror images of one another, right? So I like Gilbert Grape tonight over Warren Miller Films.
Colorado still in Boston at Fenway against the Sox. It'll be Kyle Freeland against Brian Bayo. Minus 275 for Boston, plus 225 for the Rockies, and an 8.5.
I think the best bet is the over 8.5 at minus 120. Even the run line price sucks at minus $1.46. But Boston has been 9 of 11 and raking on the Rockies. I think they'll score 10 runs themselves.
Very possible. I love the over there at Fenway tonight. Marlins and the Reds still in Cincinnati. Yuri Perez and Nick Martinez tonight. Minus 125 for the Reds, plus 105 for the Fish, and an 8.5.
So, I was talking about this game when I was making the bets and what I was going to buy. And, I was talking and my buddy goes, yeah, my son, he goes, yeah, Nick Martinez, he almost had that no-hitter. I said, yeah, almost. What are we playing checkers here? He's not doing that again. I'm going Stinky Fish again at plus money. They beat him last night. Beat him again. Harder.
Later on in the final hour, I'll give you the rest of the slate for this evening. Tons of games, including a lot of games on the left coast. And we'll have some long balls as well. We've got to have some taters for tonight.
And now we've got your boy Smiley.
That's it.
New to social casinos? You're in for a treat. Most online casinos offer bonus cash or coins just for signing up. That's your own little participation trophy. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
If you're betting $50 a pop, doesn't matter. But if you want to bet $2 or $3 grand each side and literally have plus 110 on both sides, not the worst way to make some money on a Sunday night.
Not at all, right? I mean, and that's amazing. I've never really watched this in real time where you see these odds fluctuate with penalty kicks going on.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Kalshi has been around since 2018, offering these event contract trading prediction markets where you can wager on things like the weather, whether or not Dave Portnoy is going to give a 9.0 on his next pizza review spot, and then the election, which is where they really made headlines. Election betting is technically illegal.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't want a big that's camped out under the basket and clogging the lane. He provides a lot of really good defense, a lot of three-point shooting, and again, younger than Brook Lopez. It is a good match. I just don't think it moves the needle, but as we talked about to open the show, when Giannis Antetokounmpo was saying, we're not just going to sit here this year and say, oh, Dame's down, let's just take a pause year because I'd rather go try to chase a championship. So at least they're being honest and saying, we're going to make this team better.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.